share my thoughts about my medical school education. But I wanted to share that all with you first. So what you choose to eat, but also what you choose to wear, and even what comes out of your lips, what you choose to say to people. Some part of you chose a path that it's fitting that we're on a mighty ship, and as we're going through the ocean, we leave a wake behind us. And in your choosing to live a vegan lifestyle, and a vegan life, and make vegan choices, you're choosing to make the wake you leave behind you one of ease, one of smoothness, one of healing, one of it's okay behind us, which is the gift of the vegan to the world, where we ask very little. And generally, things are better, people are better, more healed for having interacted with us just because of who we are. Not because we're better people, but because the vegan ideal brings out the best in us. And living a life of nonviolence, of active loving in everything you say, unites us and reaffirms not only the beauty and the power of this ideal, but the fact that there's enough vegans in the world now that to put out a call and 1,000 of them come to take a ship ride together. I've been in this movement since 1981 when I became vegan, believe me. Dirk would have had a pretty empty ship back then. and the power of this movement, of this idea, and especially in the last 5 to 8 years, we hit an inflection point. And the awareness is increasing exponentially. And before you used to mumble under your breath, I'm vegan, and something to be embarrassed of. Now we've crossed over to it. You have, I know all vegans here, none of you are eating like this, but your parents are, your family members are, your friends are, your doctor is eating foods like this. And you need to know what your doctor doesn't know. He knows or she knows, but just does not want to open the door, and nobody told him or her about this. But you eat a meal like this, and you have burgers, fries, and a shake, the heavy fats in the burger, the butter fat and the cheese, the egg yolk and the mayonnaise, the vegetable oil and the fries, the butter fat and the ice cream. All this fat oozes out into the blood. And for the next 5 hours, what your blood looks like after you eat a meal like this. Now, not everybody shows it this optically densely for the scientists in the room, but everybody has a wave of fat that goes through the bloodstream after you eat a meal like this. How can you not? Where else is it going to go? Of course your blood turns fatty. And I was serious about that 5-hour number. Here they gave someone a fatty meal at hour 0, and they drew blood once an hour for 6 hours. And they took those 6 blood tubes and put them one after another into an instrument that measures how fatty, how milky the blood is appearing. And you see the blood getting fatter and fattier and fattier and fattier. It takes the liver about 5 hours to begin to clear the fat out of the blood. And send another wave of fat through the bloodstream, and the blood stays fatty all evening till about 10 o'clock at night, till on the way back to the bedroom, you stop and polish off that pint of ice cream in the fridge, and another wave of fat goes to the bloodstream. And even if it's, I don't eat like that, I eat wild-caught salmon, it's still a high-fat food. And the truth is, most people in your life who aren't vegan yet, through your bloodstream, let me go down this infamous roll call here. Nobody eats raw meat. The very act of cooking animal muscle oxidizes the cholesterol. Well, oxidized cholesterol is highly atherogenic. Here is an artery wall. Here is the oxidized cholesterol. It's the particles of oxidized cholesterol that work their way into the artery wall that summon in these nasty macrophages that gobble them up, turn into these foam cells, which sets off the atherosclerotic plaque formation. But it's the oxidized cholesterol, and if you're eating cooked meat 2-3 times a day, let's flood our artery walls with oxidized cholesterol every 4 or 5 hours. That must do wonderful things for them. The very act of cooking and or it, the pathologist can find this stuff in the lesions of coronary artery disease, rheumatoid arthritis, nasty stuff. And our paleo friends, let's have some more 5-TC 2-3 times a day. This is going to set them up for all sorts of inflammation. Then, there's good old TMAO, you've probably heard of this stuff. The food you eat determines the microbes that live in your gut. You eat a bunch of sugar, you're going to sum up sugar-eating microbes. Well, you eat meat 2-3 times a day, you're eating large amounts of molecules called carnitine, and you eat eggs, you're going to be eating choline. That will summon up a population of microbes like Streptococci and Clostridia that eat carnitine and choline. Well, they don't care about you. That next chicken breast that comes down, they're going to turn that carnitine and choline into trimethylamine, that your liver turns into trimethylamine oxide, and this is a molecule from hell. This drives cholesterol into the artery walls. And you're going to be seeing, and I've already had reports of a young paleo guy dropping dead at the gym at 49. Ooh, he looked so healthy. But on the inside, he was an old man from what he'd been doing to his arteries. In plants and green vegetables, is that your body has, the intestinal wall can regulate how much of that non-heme iron comes in. But heme iron expressed right up into your liver, and your liver winds up overloaded with iron and winds up with all sorts of toxicity. Your artery walls get injured from too much iron. The He-Man meat eaters who think they're doing it, well, I get all this iron from my hemoglobin. Well, the guys can't get rid of iron, and they wind up with iron overload and damaged arteries from it. And then, of course, as you well know, the animals in the feedlots are fed grains by the bushel that have been sprayed with herbicides and pesticides and growth promoters and antibiotics. Well, these molecules accumulate in the animal's muscle and builds up to high levels, and every steak and chop is filled with the pesticides and herbicides and concentrated toxins that the animal ate. Well, I don't eat meat anymore, I just eat fish. Well, we've used the oceans as sewers now, and the tuna and the salmon and the tilefish are filled now with mercury and pesticides and dioxins and microplastics. Be shocked when their artery walls become injured and start to clog up. Are you going to be shocked when their gut becomes leaky and they sprout out with lupus or rheumatoid arthritis? Are you going to be shocked when they get a colon cancer growing in their colon? How could this have happened? Oh, bad genes. Doctor, you're a scientist or aren't you? How can you ignore this? How dare we practice medicine as if what our patients are running through our tissue, their tissue on daily products? Yay, paleo, they're right. They say no caveman ever squeezed the fat out of olives and poured olive fat on their salads, so they're down on liquid oils. Yay, paleo, they're right. And they say no caveman ever ground wheat into flour, so they're down on flour products. Yay, they're right. And you eliminate the dairy, the oil, the flour products in your diet, and you will trim down, and your lipids will get better, and your insulin sensitivity will improve from the weight loss. Yay! But I'm telling my doctor colleagues and the young medical students, do not be seduced by these early positive changes. Yes, they're there and they're dramatic, but this stuff is jet fuel that you're talking about running through these people's bloodstream day after day, year after year. The question around what diseases is this eating style brewing? What are you really doing in their colon wall? And we know from the blue zones that a plant-based diet is certainly adequate to get you through 100 years of longevity. Lunches and dinners of hearty, big salads, hearty vegetable soup, big plate steamed green and yellow vegetables, very important, those steamed green and yellows, some healthy grains, lots of legumes, and some fruits for dessert in any nationality that you want. Italian, Mexican, Indian, doesn't matter. Have fun with the seasonings. When one adopts, and I tell the students, you don't want to be a disease manager and just fiddle with their statin doses. Reversible diseases, every one of them. And the patient and the doctor should not settle for less. Time's getting on, but again, I wish I had learned these are all reversible diseases. I'm going to go quickly through the science behind this. I don't want this to be a scientific lecture, but you should just know that the hot inflammatory joint disease studies show that you get these people on a brief water fast and a whole food plant-based diet, and everything gets better, and the benefits in the diet group were still present after 1 year. Even to operate on. We're on a whole food plant-based diet. 22 months later, the plaques melt away. This artery turns into that artery. The same artery, same guy. Okay. When he published this study, every cardiologist with integrity should have picked up the phone and said, how did you do this? Tell me what you did. This is my entire career I'm doing this. I'm trying to create this effect. Tell me what you did, doctor. You heard from a lot of critics, but not much response. It's sad vegans for all sorts of reasons. But we can't put solar panels in everybody's house tomorrow. We can't give everybody an electric car. But everybody could choose the bean chili instead of the beef chili. It's the one thing everybody could do tomorrow, and it doesn't cost anything. And if we would make that one change, we would need less land. If world hunger would disappear, the forest would come back, the greenhouse gas would be absorbed, the soils would stabilize, the river won't think. We would be healthy again. If you have a small amount of meat once or twice a week, is that going to put you at any risk for any serious disease is the issue? Yeah, it's up to you how much you want to push your luck there, how lucky you feel in Las Vegas there. And generally less is more. No, most people can do that, but a significant minority might take them a couple of months, 6 months to gear up those enzymes to make their own creatine and carnitine. And during those times, they draw down on their own stores of it's not normal human physiology. I've delivered over 400 babies, and about 24 of them were vegan, born to vegan parents. And I've watched these lovely vegan kids grow up into healthy, strong vegan adults. Guess what? They don't get meat cravings. Their mouths don't water when they walk past the barbecue. They do not have this dependency. This is acquired dependency. And so what's behind this question may be this issue that some of the folks do better when they eat some meat a few times a week. Yeah, that's probably true. He's probably got a real dependency on it. And he's not fooling. That body's not fooling. And that's what we get for this type of child raising. Bears will drown, and enough connections will be made on the cystic. It's the meat, and finally they'll say, oh yeah, my parents were trying to tell me. The problem, now let me just say before I go any further, God bless raw foods. We need raw food, at least half your diet. Let me say that, at least half of what goes into your mouth every 24 hours should have grown out of the garden and not had any heat applied to it. You should have a big salad at least once a day. Your munchies should be pineapple cubes and melon chunks and some dip your hummus with celery sticks and carrot sticks. Get those raw veggies in, absolutely. By line, at least half of what goes down your gullet every day should be raw foods. No question. Raw foods. There are things in them that you just can't replace in any heat nature. Just starchy vegetables. You can't eat raw potatoes. Or sweet potato, I guess, if you make noodles out of them. But by and large, you've eliminated the raw starchy vegetables, and you've eliminated the field grains. You can't eat raw rice. You can't eat raw wheat or raw barley. By and large, yes, potentially you can soak them when you talk about it, but even so, there's a limit. Those are pretty chewy grains as far as meeting your calorie needs. You really cut out some major calorie sources. Not going to be the healthiest. It's going to spawn some microbes in your gut that are probably going to let you know that it's not a healthy diet. And there's a good chance you're going to develop some mineral deficiencies as well.